Hello, welcome to another unboxing video. Unfortunately, due to I have no idea what, I didn't actually manage to record any audio with this box, so this is all going to be voiceover and I have to try and remember what I was thinking at the time as I opened the box, which is really annoying. It also means you miss all the lovely ASMR stuff, including the unsealing of the box, the scrunching of the paper, and just generally the noises that were ambient while I was unboxing it. So for that I truly apologise, and please like and subscribe in spite of the snafu. Anyway, let's get this started. And well, first thing you see is that it's a really nice black and white image on the box. It's again really nice quality box, well presented. Just had to cut out the bit there where I accidentally flashed my dress. But yeah, it's a really nice image. It's a tad culturally iffy. Yeah, so I'm not sure if that sort of image is kind of cultural appropriation, but let's pretend it's just a random fantasy scene, shall we, rather than some sort of COD Japanese thing. And here we go. Rip, 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 rip. Rip, 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 rip. Just opening that up there. I like that it's a nice easy open there. So as we open it up, we'll probably see, I don't know what I'm doing here. I have no idea what I was talking about here. Oh yeah, it was quite heavy. The reason for that will become apparent fairly quickly. So it's actually heavier than the last box, which was the lino cutting one. Weirdly enough, you could probably do the image on the front of this one with a lino cut as easily as you can this image. So well, it's not lino again, let's just say that. So anyway, gonna open this up now anytime now. Yay, here we go. Right, so the usual orange paper and orange lining. You can already see that up in the top right corner there is a bottle of ink, probably writing ink if I remember correctly. So it's the Pelican ink, which is quite a nice brand, which I've not had before, but I've seen reviews for it. So bit of packing paper there, a little bit of orange tissue, because you know, you never know when you might need a bit of tissue. And as you can see, I'm scrunching the paper a bit there, so that's another ASMR type thing. So imagine the sound of scrunching paper there. What I did. Right, so there's the Pelican ink in blue black. I don't know if I've overlooked this one. Anyway, so let's go into this and have a look at the bottle inside. So it's got a nice little detail of the pelican on it. For some reason I'm looking at myself and assuming you can see it, which is a bit daft. But yeah, nice shaped little bottle. Look quite nice on a desk if you're doing a bit of dip pen work, or you just want to, or you've got one of those refillable fountain pens. So we've got box, and alright, I'm going to go for the box first because I do love a good box. So it's got the Artful logo on it. I have no idea why I'm so only just on the cut. Ooh, look at that. Oh, another bit of tissue paper, always handy. Do a bit of decoupage with that later maybe. So in here I can already see there's pencil, white pencil. So this one's a weird one. It says it's for like marking glass and ceramics and things like that, which is, I'm not sure. I haven't actually managed to successfully make a point on it yet, which is something I can tell you in hindsight, because at the time I didn't realise it was going to be a pain in the bum in that respect. You've got 0.3 unipin. I use unipins a lot, as you know. I like them. They're nice firm tips, good line makers. I don't usually use a 0.3, so you know, very nice flat brush. So this is a synthetic, looks like Taclon, which is sort of nylon-y fibre, but it's very soft when it's in use. I mean, obviously it's got the stuff on it that makes it firm so that it points nicely and what have you. So you got that, and you've got a round brush the same. So another synthetic round brush, and for some reason I am not showing you. I don't know who I'm showing that to, but it's a nice brush. Nice chunky handle as well, which I probably didn't mention at the time. It's actually quite a nice one to hold, that one. Nice quality. And fluffy. It's not fluffy. It's quite nice, dense, washy one. And a pencil. Now this is an H of some kind. I've got it over there somewhere. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's a 4H, which means it's a harder pencil, which means it makes a paler line. It sort of makes a grey line, but it will keep a very sharp tip, so you can make very, very fine lines. And we've got, a wax crayon, a colourless wax crayon, which actually I haven't used that in anything, so I must show you how that works. It makes a resist, so you draw something and then you paint over it, and it makes, and of course the watercolour or whatever you use won't stick to it. So you got the water pen brush thingies. Now this is me being an idiot, because what I didn't realise with these ones, so the ones I've got, they screw up and unscrew the way they would normally, but these ones are actually screw up the other way, which is good, because it means if you sort of twist the pen, the lid of them to take them off if they're like a bit stiff or anything, you're actually tightening where the water screwy bit, rather than loosening it, so it doesn't accidentally spill anywhere. So it's a good design, but it had me confused for, well, you'll probably see later on. And you got 3 different types, so you got 2 round ones and a flat one. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much a muchness, these things. They have white synthetic bristles, and water flows through them. Yeah, so they're handy, so you can use them for all sorts of... Oh, the head butted the camera probably there. Sounds about right. Still having troubles there. Yeah, so in this, so this is what all the weight was in this package here. So, right, before we open that, there's some more of the cards. So in the, I think it was the first Artful Box I got, there were some cards, and this one had some cards in it as well, so you can make your own cards. This is the paper pad that comes with it. It's an A4 watercolour paper, and it's cold pressed, so it's got a little bit of texture to it. It's not massively textured, but it's nice and thick. Yeah, so watercolour paper. Oh yeah, you can actually see the texture on it there, and you couldn't hear me flicking it, but it was making a nice doing doing sound as you flick it, like when you're, also got the magazine, which is always nice. It's always worth having a look at that one, because it's normally got other artists you can look at. Oh, and vouchers for different things. I'm not sure this is going to be very interesting, so I'm probably going to cut that out. Yep, and I cut that out, and now let's get on to the meaty part, which is what's in this orange package. And I'm going to chuck those away, because, adverts, what are you going to do? I mean, God, not like I don't spend enough at this time of year anyway. Okay, so are they big bottles, or are they small bottles? Are they medium-sized bottles? Let's find out. Ooh, so you got 6 inks. So Indian ink, which is a nice black ink. I think that's a purple. Then you've got Prussian blue, green. I can't remember which green it is. I'm sure it will become apparent shortly. Lemon yellow and scarlet. So basically you've got black, 3 primary colours and a green and a purple. Although I think it's a violet rather than a purple. If that makes sense. So I think they're all inks, but it's possible they're acrylic inks. It doesn't, I mean, it says in the book what they are, so I should really be reading the book at the same time as I'm doing this, which is so something. So Solid Crew. No. Just a second. Let me just get the book, and I will tell you exactly what they are. Yeah. So I found the book. I'd hidden it away. So the blue black ink here is Pelican 4001 ink, blue black. So it's a waterproof fountain pen ink. It's permanent and contains iron gall, so it'll change tones from blue to grey as it ages. The Artful watercolour paper is 330 GSMs, grams per square metre. Yeah, so there's 25 in that. We've got brain. So the acrylic inks are lemon yellow, Prussian blue, scarlet, deep green, and violet, and they are £6.50 each normally. They're acrylic ink, so once they're dry, they're light, fast, and water resistant, and they can dilute. They can dilute in water, you can dilute them in water, you can mix them with other colours, etc, etc. The Indian ink is the light, fast, permanent ink. It's not suitable. Now the reason it's not suitable for fountain pens is it tends to sort of separate out. It's a kind of, I don't know exactly what it's made of, but it sort of has bits in it. It's more of a suspension than it is a liquid, if that makes sense. So yeah, so it's fair dues. Yeah, so the Indian ink, and the Indian ink is £4.95 for a bottle. The Pelican ink is £5.25. So you know, you're getting a fair amount of value there. And that's not including all the other bits and bobs, obviously. Is there anything else that desperately needs to be explained? Oh, so the pencil is an F. It's just an F rather than an H, which means it's a very, very hard, very, very light. I have no idea what I'm explaining at this point. Right, I think I was actually doing this the exact same thing I'm doing now, so going through and explaining what each of the things were and how much they're worth. Obviously most things are variable, because obviously you don't have to buy these particular acrylic inks, you don't have to buy that particular wax crayon. I mean, apart from anything else, you can just use a candle if you really want to do the thing with the wax. Which I should have actually showed off when I was doing the paintings. I'm going to do uni pins. You can get them in loads of excuse me. You can get those in loads of places. But these brushes actually, I mean, it says here how much they are. It says how much they are, but they are. I think they're really nice brushes. I'm really pleased with the way they feel and the lines they make. So the brushes are £5.95 and £6.50 respectively. So the round one is £5.95 and the flat one is £6.50. And I particularly like the round one myself, because the round one's it picks up an awful lot of colour and water and is really, really soft and springy. The cards, obviously, you know what cards are. These ones are thick enough. They're, you know, 225 GSM, I think it was, or 230, something like that. So that, you know, they're thick enough that you can actually draw whatever, or use mixed medium, just like the ones that we had before. And I don't know what I'm trying to do here, but it's sort of the edge of one of the little tutorials. It's showing you how to draw a bear by basically wetting the paper and using ink around the edges of it to give it a sort of three-dimensional effect. It's quite a simple technique, but it's just basically you make a wet patch on your paper vaguely in the shape of a bear, and then you get an ink on a bit of ink on a brush and do that. So fairly simple stuff. As I say, the white pencil is designed so that you can draw over dark colours, which is cool. But and the book's quite nice. It suggests you have a play around with them and see what you can actually do with the different bits and bobs you've got in the box, which is always worth a look. I'm kind of disappointed that there's no drawing like dip pen to go with it, like one of those little bamboo pens, or just a basic dip pen and nib. I'm just showing you pictures of the 3 tutorials they've got there. 2 horse-based ones, so a unicorn and a horse skeleton, and another one that is basically it's basically an architectural drawing. I think it's a bit unfair that the horse skeleton one is actually, so it's a really nice little tutorial, but it relies on you having access to Adobe or something like Adobe Photoshop or something to actually put the bits together. Anyway, so I'm going to get on with testing out these bits and bobs that I've got in this lovely box, and I'll probably speed this along a little bit because I've had to change cameras here, partially because of the angle, but partially because the fisheye was getting on my nerves. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have some troubles with the focus on this new camera, so you might want to bear with me. Yeah, so if you've got one of these, I'm fiddling around with this because there's a couple of loose hairs on this one, so yeah, so basically to get these started, normally you just give the barrel a little bit of the bit you hold a little bit of squeeze, because they're normally made of slightly squishy plastic rather than hard plastic, so they should have a little bit of give, and it just squeezes the water through a little bit just to get them started. After that, they're normally okay. And I'm putting down some water there, then putting down a bit of solid colour and running it into the water so that it shows you how it spreads out, gives you an idea of the sort of the tones and the range of colours you can get. I'm probably putting far too much ink in the water there because you're not actually getting much chance to see what it's like. But you know, it gives you an idea if nothing else. And you can see it just sort of blooms out. I love that. That's one thing that I really like about ink, is the way it blooms out like that. It's really lovely. I'm even going to have a go with the Pelican ink, which is the blue-black fountain pen ink. For this one though, I decided that it'd be better to use a dip pen, but I didn't have any of my pens and nibs available, so I just whipped out a glass pen that I happened to have in a sort of containery thing next to me, and gave it a little scribble there, made it a little bit more fun. Possibly, I don't know, you tell me. Sorry about the focus on this thing. It's got an autofocus and it just, I don't know, whenever the centre's on something clear or anything that's all one colour, it tends to go in and out focus like this, so it'll actually get better as it goes along, hopefully. And there you can see the block colour there is, they're quite rich colours and they're very even and clear. you know, very cohesive colours. So they're really nice. I mean, I've used acrylic inks before a few times, and these ones do seem to be really reasonable quality ones. They're good quality ones. Here I'm about to do the Indian ink, which is the sort of basic black ink that you use for all sorts of things. You can see it's very, very dense, very deep. That's perhaps not a good idea because I put water in after it already going on there. So you get the like residues on the top of the ink. I'm gonna, yeah, so I'm labelling all these so that I've got a reference for another day, which I don't always do, and I generally regret if I don't. So you got an idea of how these look. Unfortunately, the interlacing issues on this, I really must get myself a more sensible waterproof covering for my table. I mean, it's a plastic table, so it's not even as if it's gonna get wet itself, but it just doesn't look very nice. It's sort of scruffy and got like dents and bits of stuff stuck to it. But yeah, so you got the lemon yellow, scarlet, violet, Prussian blue, deep green, blue black, and Indian black. So black, just black. The blackest black. It's not really the blackest black. It's quite a black, but it's a sort of carbon black type. So I'm going to dry this off a bit so that I can actually move it without worrying about the water dribbling all over it, because it does have some bits where it's still got some surface water where it hasn't quite soaked in. And this is my new heat tool, which if you've seen my Hobbycraft haul video, which I'll probably attach on the end because heck, why not? One of the things I bought there. Spent far too much money, had far too much fun. You know how it is. I'm going to do two pictures now, both of which using far too many colours, and neither of which especially well thought out, but it kind of gives you an idea of how the inks work, some of the effects you can get with them, etc, etc. This first one sort of started off being rock in a stream, and then it just went really psychedelic after a little while. So the first bit will be almost normal looking. Enjoy. I think the problem I have is that when I get something new like this or something I want to try out, I want to try it out every single aspect of it all at once. So of course it all gets a bit mishmashy and not actually in any way cohesive. So the ways I'd improve this was I'd probably use only like 2 colours, maybe, possibly even just 1 colour, just to try one thing into destruction. And also not just have no plan. Of course I say that, but the next one is probably just as weird as this one, if not more so. One of the good things you can do with inks and stuff is you can layer colour on, so you can actually dry it. It dries a bit faster than watercolour, and just, yeah, so as you can see I'm just adding a darker layer on. I haven't particularly used it like watercolour, but I should have. But you know, for example, I should have started with the palest colour, so the yellow and the palest green, you know, the watered down green and stuff. And I just went a bit Leroy Jenkins on it. I just went in there. I didn't even get any chicken. It's very sad. Anyway, I'll carry on. Okay, that's the test sheet again, and I'm going to do picture number 2, and this is where I have a moment. So look, I'm trying to stick it down, but I'm trying to stick it down onto basically a silicone mat. And of course, one of the things that silicone is renowned for is that you can't stick things to it. So once again, my genius comes to the fore. But really I just wanted to stop it moving around so it doesn't go out of the camera area really. This time I've decided to draw a creature because heck, why not? And I just use basic lines. It's not a very good creature, frankly. And I suppose because it was, actually this must have been subconscious because of course it's Capricorn season. So this is kind of a goat, but it's got like a tail. And I know Capricorn, it's got like a weird sort of serpenty tail. So this is kind of serpenty. Well, I was thinking more sort of semi-demon thing, but actually it's more of a Capricorn. If you think of it as a Capricorn, it makes more sense. Of course it has hands, which is not very Capricorn-y. It should have hooves, but that's just impractical. So I hope you've been enjoying these weird sort of doodly things I've been doing. Hopefully the next time I do something it'll be a little bit more what? A little bit less weird. I mean, it's unlikely because, you know, weird is kind of what I do. But yeah, so I mean, this has been fun. As I say, I've been using far too many colours to do this, even though, yeah, so I haven't used the green in this one, I haven't used the violet in this one, but I've still got red, blue, yellow, so it basically makes all those colours anyway. And I've used a little bit of the did I use the Indian ink? Yes, I did use the Indian ink as well, because sometimes you just have to, man, you just have to. Yeah, trying to get some 3-dimension. I'm trying to make it look slightly more solid and less ephemeral. And I'm really sorry I made it look so buff. It's kind of, yeah. I have no idea what was going through my mind when I did this. But then that's what happens when you do things over that weird between Christmas and New Year period. The world is just a little bit stranger at that time of year, I think. And it's kind of going from a desert to a different desert. It's going from a yellow desert to a blue desert. I don't know why. Maybe it's night to day, or no, the other way around, day to night. But yeah. Hey, I'm drawing him out. Ooh. Trying to add in some little details here with the 0.3. As I say, for this sort of size of picture I'd probably use a finer fine liner, but since this is the one that came in the box I thought I'd better use this one. Yeah, so as I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe, in spite of me mucking up most of this and having an uncohesive brain. And hopefully we'll see you in the next, well, hopefully things calm down a bit and the world gets a little less crazy, but yeah, we're gonna, yeah, this is, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here, but yeah, in spite of that we will carry on goblining, and there will be more videos this year, in spite of time constraints and what have you. And please leave a message down below if there's anything you particularly want to see, or if you want me to do a particular review, or anything really, or if you just want to say hi, that'd be really great. Sorry, I just got distracted by the drawing there. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.